exercising regularly. I always recommend 150 minutes a week. I don't care how you get that. I prefer that you do 20 to 30 minutes at a time. But if you take 10 minutes here, and if that's all your week allows, then we'll take it. I do believe that it will make some improvements. And eventually your body will want more if you're able to incorporate that. Limiting alcohol consumption. Alcohol increases estrogen and other hormones. Not exactly sure how. We got nursing students any nursing students in here? Okay. Probably learned once upon a time, but limit your alcohol. And then smoking. Smoking is always going to be linked to higher risk of cancers. And then this is a big one, hormone therapy. Lots and lots of questions about hormone therapy. The estrogen and progesterone, that increased levels are going to put you at increased risk. So ideally you want, yes, perimenopause, so I don't know if men know that you take that for the hot flashes and the anxiety and the rage and all things that come with perimenopausal symptoms and menopause symptoms. So the ideal is that you're able to get on those for a short duration. If your lifestyle allows, or the symptoms allow you to get off of it, then get off of it. Same goes with birth control. It's estrogen. When you're taking it, you're gonna be increasing your risk for breast cancers. So, big thing, if we don't take anything away from this is all about early detection and saving lives, right? Okay. How do we do that? What does that look like? Breast cancer, self-awareness. You gotta know your own boobies, okay? Be looking at them. That's the monthly self-breast exam. I see different information where they say, no, don't do that no more. That's because they want to push for mammograms. But I still recommend that you are palpating or that's what we call it in practice, but you are looking for those breasts. You're looking for changes in your breasts. Make it fun. Have your husband, find the lump game. We don't want to find you, but it's better. You're seeing them every day. I see you, once a year, so I am relying on you to find the lumps, okay? We call it the find the lump game. And then just report any changes early. Clinical breast exams, that's where you go in and your doctor will examine your breast. Those are recommended every 1 to 3 years in women ages 20 to 39. How many 20 to 39-year-olds we got? Show of hands. If you have daughters or nieces, let them know they should be asking. If you have a doctor who's not performing that, it's okay to ask. So anything that you're asking for, they're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, we can make time to do that, or at least they should be saying that. And then you should have that done annually after you're 40, okay? Got it? I know we got some 40-year-olds in here, right? Okay, so when you go to the doctor, if they're not doing that clinical breast exam, what are you going to do? Ask for it, okay? And then mammograms. Who got their mammogram in the last 365 days? Okay, all right. So mammograms is the most reliable screening test that we have to detect tumors, okay? And mammograms can detect them. They're important because they can detect the tumors years before we can actually feel those tumors, all right? So mammogram. Yearly. I had a great question. How often can I get a mammogram yearly? Every time you want. Every time you find something, if you think there's something going on, if you're concerned, I am now concerned. And so I would never tell a patient who brings me a concern, even if she say January, she had a negative mammogram. She comes back 2 months later and she says, hey, I think I found something. Straight to mammogram again. Insurance will typically pay for that screening. If not, and I don't want to give you incorrect have to advocate for ourselves. That's the biggest thing, okay? Just ask. And then MRI, ultrasound. These are going to be recommended this is recommended by the radiologist when they look at that mammogram and they cannot 100% with certainty rule out that they didn't see anything. They cannot clear you with that mammogram. They're going to make a recommendation for a breast ultrasound or a mammogram. My patients come to me and ask me, do I have to get this? Yes, you should. Yes, you should get it, because then we can't say for certainty that you don't have breast cancer. So, yes, get it. Especially if your insurance pays for it, get it. All right, so what are the things that we're asking for when we go to the doctor if they're not doing it? If mine wasn't doing it, I'd ask for a new doctor. But this is the quiz part. What are we asking for if they are not doing those? What? Mammograms? Clinical breast exam? All right, so when and how often? Mammograms, I see that we always used to recommend these annually. Now I see insurances coming in with managed care saying they recommend them every 2 years. I still recommend them annually. Ask for it, because what's happening now is some providers won't recommend them annually. Ask for it. They will tell you, if they tell you no, then you have to explore that and call your insurance and find out why, but I still recommend annually. Especially in ages 40 to 74, you need that annual mammogram, okay? You can get that younger if you have a family history of breast cancer, meaning someone in your family close to you has had breast cancer, or if you're having symptoms. Again, if a 30-year-old comes to me and she thinks she has a lump, mammogram. Okay? If I feel a lump, diagnostic mammogram. And then for ladies older than 75, there's not going to be a strong push unless you've had some history of breast cancer, but I take those on a case-by-case basis, and certainly if you have any issues, changes in your breast, if you find a lump, or if you're concerned, if you come in, if I have an 80-year-old patient who comes in and she says, I want a mammogram, absolutely, okay? You get a mammogram. And then this is the other piece that I really want to spend time making sure that you understand. What are the signs and when do we need to contact our provider? If you have a new or an old lump, let your provider know immediately. This is not the thing that we say, oh, you know what, I'll make that call next week. We're making that call when we have our morning coffee, okay? Immediately if you find a lump. And then if there's also thickening in your breast, breast tissue should not be changing. The left should be doing the same as the right, okay? So if you're seeing changes, then you definitely want to let your provider know. A big thing that some may or may not know about, lymph nodes under your arm. If you're having irritation, well, yeah, we might be gaining a little weight. Sometimes that seatbelt hit us in the right place and you get irritated. But get it checked out, because the lymph nodes drain that breast abnormal cells, and so it will cause changes in your lymph nodes. I've had people come in with irritation in the lymph nodes, or a swollen lymph node, or redness, or something going on. Hadn't found a lump, send them over, and now, yes, we have a positive identification. So any changes in your breast, shape, size, feel, anything. Now, dimpling. Do we know what dimpling is? We may not be familiar with it in our breast, but you got that little stuff in the back of your leg, what we call it cottage cheese legs. If you see that in your breast, that is dimpling, okay? We need to get that checked out immediately. Again, that's another sign, so I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Redness, abscesses, nipple inversions is a big one. Now, again, if you see any of these, I'm not saying, because some people do do have inverted nipples, but typically nipples poke out, right? If yours was poking out and now it's starting to kind of poke in, mammogram immediately. We need to let our doctors know about that. And then if you're seeing any discharge, if you're leaking, you shouldn't be leaking if you're not breastfeeding. So yes, definitely. And then any changes, anything changes, let your provider know. All right. So did I go fast? Okay. So do we have any in the house? I'd like for you to stand and just, you're honoring us with your presence and your story. Do we have any breast cancer survivors in the house? Anyone who's been touched by this? All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are blessed to have you here today. All right, stay standing for me. Stay standing. This is our foundation right here, okay? And then anyone who has a first or second degree relative who's been touched by breast cancer. That's a mom, a grandmother, a cousin, a sister, a daughter, or an aunt who's been touched by breast cancer. Okay. Stay standing for me. Now, do we have anyone who has a friend or a close friend or say a co-worker that you work with every day who has been touched by cancer, breast cancer? Okay. All right, so as we look around, this thing is close to us, right? It almost feels like it's coming for us. The one thing that we have in our, well, we have prayer and we have faith. That was an amazing. So he almost, Brother Blakney almost did the work for me this morning. But one thing he said is action. That lady that had the issue of blood, she got it. Now I'm just being chatty. She got on her knees and she knew what she was up against trying to get to Jesus. And she was willing to do the work. All we're asking is for you to make the call. Get the mammograms, okay? That's what we can do. That's what we have in our arsenal. That's one thing that we have in our arsenal. Here's some lists. These are all the systems in Tulsa that do mammograms. And I'll give you my email information at the end if you want to, if you need this list, but these are all the major systems. And then also Tulsa Health Department has a program in Morton's. And then this is a grant, just so you know, you can ask about this. This grant is from the CDC. It's for low income, uninsured, or underinsured. Underinsured is a thing. I mean, you have insurance, but it's not quite meeting all of the screening needs. Call this number, it's a 188 number, and speak with a patient navigator and see if you fall into the income guidelines. And they help with pap smears as well. And they do diagnostic follow-up and help with treatment. So I had one patient ask me, hey, what happens, or a friend asked me, didn't have insurance, what happens if I go, I get these, who's gonna help me with the treatment? Somebody will. Okay, there are programs out there. We just need to get you diagnosed. Hopefully, we don't, but if we do, you don't know until you go and get the testing. That's a QR code. Hopefully, you can grab that and not see me after. It's got that PowerPoint, so like I said, I know I went fast, trying to get through all of it, but also wanted you to have email so you can, if you have questions. So I do want to open the floor. Do we have time for questions? We got about 5 minutes. I got it. Okay. Let's ask some questions. I want to be specific in questions, okay? You can ask me anything, but I would prefer you ask me or tell me what reservations you have or what barriers you have to getting these mammograms if you weren't able or if you feel like you don't want to do them. Anybody? Okay, what about? Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask about what efforts are being taken for men.
Oh, great question. Great. And my husband, he told me to mention that there are about 3,000 cases in the last couple of years annually with men with breast cancer. Same exact process. Get you find a lump, or if you have a concern, or if you have that history, then let your provider know. We send them for a mammogram. And they typically, if they can't quite, this is a little different with me, and they can't quite get in that machine, they'll do an ultrasound. But yes, certainly, great question. Yes?
My daughter's a cancer survivor. She had a double amputee, or whatever you call it. Is she still at risk of cancer coming back?
Yes. Yes. It depends, and I say that I'm not an oncologist or breast surgeon, so they divide those surgeries up into two kinds. Sometimes they go in, they take everything out, and they are less at risk, and so then they tell them they don't have to follow up as often. I don't know quite the guidelines on that, but if they didn't quite take everything, then yes.
Okay.
But that would be a great conversation for her to have with her oncologist, hoping that she still sees, or OBGYN.
Okay, like,
Other questions?
Well, what type of testing? Sampling, when a mammogram is done and they do find a lump, what's the process for testing that?
Great question. So what they will do is they'll go in and they start with you'll start in a primary care office with the mammogram. They'll go in, they find the lump, then they may, depending on what type and what they see, they may send you back for another one, which is more of a diagnostic mammogram. Typically, though, they will send you straight to an MRI so that they can do a better job of visualizing it, and then they do a biopsy. And they send it off to the pathologist, and they sometimes, because all lumps, like we said in the beginning, all lumps are not cancer, so don't be afraid. I hear women say, oh, this is gonna give me cancer, and just fear of the unknown, But I like to be specific with me personally. I like to be specific with my prayers. If I know that I have $2 in my account, I need to know specifically what am I praying for. I don't just say, Lord, bless my finances. Lord, I need $537 to make this payment. So if you don't know you have a lump, your prayers may be, very broad. But if you know you have a lump, then we know exactly what we're asking God for, and we can concentrate all our efforts in that direction. I don't know. I'm sorry, I went left on that one. I apologize. Other questions? No questions? All right, who's getting a mammogram in the next 365?
Oh, yes.
Everybody? All right. Okay, that's a win. I take that as a win. Thank you guys so much for having me.
I appreciate you for staying, and I appreciate so much, Dr. Trippett, for doing what you've done with us today. Health professionals are really, really special to us here, and we have so many nurses and so many folks who've been in the healing profession for so many years, and we're glad to have you. Thank you for doing that today. Now, Doris has something she needs to share with us, and then we're going to be summarizing in just a moment. Doris, can you? Where are you? Doris is a second-time cancer survivor. And,
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? I'm doing great. Because if the teacher say I need a mic. Okay, now is that better? Last November, first of all, I want to say give an honor to God. And I want to say thank you to everyone that visited me,
like Sister Daisy. I don't think it was a week that went by that I didn't get a call from Sister Daisy. I thank you guys, because you don't know how much that means to someone to be at home sick. Some days down, some days being fussed at by your children. That was a hard part. But that's a whole nother story. But I want to thank everyone, because that means a lot. But what I do want to say is, if you have family members that you're not close to, or family members that you don't talk to, church members that you don't talk to, change all of that. Change all of that, because God is good. God will mend fences. He will mend broken homes. He will do that. I can honestly say I love my sons to death. And a lot of you don't know I have 3 sons, but I have 2 sons that I can depend on. I have 2 families that I can depend on. And I invited Darwin and Nicole to come to church with me today, and they did. I know Darwin would much rather be home doing something else, but he honored me and he came to church with me today. Because there was times that I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed. I failed several times, and I still got wounds to show for it. But going to the hospital, people were nice, they were friendly. But you have to show yourself friendly. You have to show people that God is in you, that God is forever walking with you. And that's one thing, Brother Blakney would call me every week. I have to give him kudos. He would usually fuss at me every week because I was doing something I shouldn't do. But you know, when you're home by yourself, you just think you can do it. I can do this, I can do that. And if Brenda wasn't calling me, fussing at me for something, Donna was calling me, fussing at something. Brother Danny said those were my road dogs. And so you need somebody in the church that you know have the same kind of faith that you do, that will pray for you, pray with you, hold your hand, go with you to your doctor's appointment if your loved ones can't go, because that's what my friends did. If Darwin couldn't go, Nicole couldn't go, David or Melissa couldn't go, I always had somebody I could count on. So us as a body, we need to learn to love one another, be there one for another, so that we can count on each other. Because that's what Christianity is all about. I had youth workers from me and Daryl's time in the youth that were keeping in touch with me. And that meant so much to me to have people that I used to be in youth groups with to still reach out to me and pray for me. So we need to start coming to church. We need to get involved. We need to do what we can to help one another, because you never know when you need somebody. I love Sister Rose Smith to death. I love Sister Nora Mahone to death. These are ladies that I can count on, I can call and talk to, and they told me, both of them at one point, I was telling them it was so hard to do what my children asked me. And both of them told me, you raised them, now it's their time to take care of you. So remember, young people that are younger than me, because I am now 72 years old. So if you're younger than me, be close to your parents. Love your mom, love on your dad, because you never know when they are sick and they may need you, because we don't always take them. That's something we don't always share. First camps around, I wasn't telling nobody. I was going to do it myself. I was going to do it myself, but I was going to do it myself. But the second time around, I couldn't. Second time around, I failed at home several times. I even fell in the hospital at one time because I was doing what they told me not to do. So, you know, we get past 60, we get hard-headed. We can do it. You know, we don't need all that help. But remember, love on one another. because that means so much to have your children, have your church members, have people call and check on you, drop stuff off at your house. And I know the Wells are gone now, but the Wells was one of my allies. They was texting me, dropping stuff off at my house, praying for me, coming back to visit me. You can't ask for anything better than that. You really can't. So everyone here, if you don't know somebody outside your circle, because I remember when Brother Blakney first came here, he would tell us, get out of your circle and invite someone in your circle. Learn the people in here with you. Learn the people in here. Call them. We got a new church directory. Call them. Just talk to them. You'll be surprised how interesting the conversation can go. So this is what I want to say to everyone, Brother Blakney. Brother Blakney, he's a good listener. He's a good person that loves to fuss. He loves to give orders. But when he does that, he's doing it out of love. And if I call you to check on you, I have called people. I called Sister Maybelline first. Sister Maybelline, has so-and-so been in church lately? And she said, I don't know. So I called that person while I was sitting home. I had nothing else to do. And, you know, church is still there, y'all. Come on back to church. Some I still haven't seen. That don't mean I'm not going to call them again. Because that's how you get to know your members. Pick up that church directory, call them, invite them back to church. You'd be surprised what kind of relationship you can have. And it's funny because Sister Bubbles has called me, Doris, do you know who so-and-so is? I'm not for sure who that person is, but let me investigate. So learn your members, love on your members, be there for your members, because you can build a great relationship with your members. Because your members are more important to you really than your outside friends are. Because you can all do the same thing. So continue to keep me and my family in your prayers. I'm not where I want to be, but God is not through yet. So y'all just keep praying for me and I'll pray for you. And Frank is telling me to cut it off. He's outside too. Cut it off. So Brother Blakney, I'm giving this back to you. Frank won't talk about me today.
This is your story, survivors. Okay, all of our survivors, breast cancer survivors, do come down front. Line across for all of our breast cancer survivors. Please come down front. Please come down front. If you're a breast cancer survivor. First of all, I'll get a picture and then we have a gift for you. Just look across the front. Some had to leave already, but there are a number that are here. Please come on down. There were several others who had to leave. Any breast cancer survivors in the Peoria building who can hear me, come on down. Out there in the line, a number of folks out there in the line. First of all, can we celebrate these folks with breast cancer survivors? Sister Johnson gets down, she's moving, may not moving that fast, but she's moving. That's all right.
I'm a breast cancer survivor for over 40 years.
40 years.
I had two doctors. One here,
Yes.
and Dr. Susan Thompson.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. February 2017, years ago, the first lady of this church had come to breast cancer. And it's been almost 17 years, and so ever since then I've been one to really emphasize treatment, research, give to research. Black women are affected much more so vigorously in terms of the death rate for aggressive cancers. So I talk about that a lot. In all my revivals, I talk about that to make sure that we check ourselves and do what's necessary to make sure we live a long time. If you have someone who survived, make sure you appreciate that you've been through a fight. Breast cancer and the fight with breast cancer is a fight. If you've never been in it with them, you don't know the havoc, and it's a fight every day. So these are survivors, so let's again give them a round of
right here. I'm
Okay,
right.
come on, get one of these gifts there. Well, you know, you can step there. Step there. This one down there. We'll get it. Okay, now, you do. Get one of those gifts over there and hand each one of the survivors.
My name is Sharon Ed, and I actually go to North Sheridan Church of Christ, but my sister Dorothy and my nephew Malcolm go here, so I come and visit every so often. I'm a 29-year breast cancer survivor. Blakney just moved here probably a year or so before I ended up with breast cancer, and they were very instrumental in helping me. And then when Pat got sick, I was giving her some different things, some information that she was needing. But I thank this congregation so much. You guys were still over in the old building when I found out, and you prayed for me, and I came through, and I thank the Lord.
My name is Tanya Humphrey. I'm a 17-year survivor and second occurrence 2021.
My name is Amy Pettit. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. 2023 became cancer-free. God is awesome. Actually, they do happen. I am one.
I think there's also a gift for every lady out in the foyer of the building. Is there one for every lady? We have a gift for every lady out in the foyer. Yeah, for every lady who's here, there's a gift for you out in the foyer of the building on this Breast Cancer Awareness Sunday. But right now, let's celebrate these folks and give it to Thank you so much. Let's again thank our nurse practitioner who did an outstanding job. Now, there's some announcements I was supposed to make. I think I made most of them. It's time to go home. So again, we took up $1,072 for the SNAP program. I think I've covered everything. My brothers and my elders in the back door, I think I've covered everything. Let's continue to keep Sister Bubbles Daniels in prayer as they go to Carolina to funeralize her mom in the next week or so. Keep them lifted. Tune in to the broadcast on Wednesday night, and also for those who are going to be in person around class. On the 6th through the 8th, I am having a program here for older ministers. Should be some with us on that Sunday morning. Keep all the guys out. Right now, about 100 people are coming in, 100 preachers are coming in for that activity, so keep it all in prayer. Mr. Kennedy, thank you for a lovely day. Get your picture taken out front with your pink on so we can have something for the internet. When you look good at your pink, let's be standing. Well, thank you so much for this day, for what you've done for all of us. Thank you for who you are to us. You've been better to us than we deserve, in fact, better than we've been to ourselves. Now, as we go back to our places of abode, do for us what you did last week. Just keep on making the way for us. Keep on waking us up. And every day we wake up, we'll keep on telling you thank you. We love you, Lord. Thank you now in Jesus' name. There's a tree outside. If you want to put your loved one's name on that tree who had cancer, or somebody who's a survivor who passed away, there's a tree. Just write it on that tree when you pray.